Hey there, what do you know? We got a stream and a show. There's a thumbnail, Take the Cups, a title, Page Turner, and a hive mind full of why look, it's Estuary Zamzam using the custom members only Dana Moore's Danny emoji. You do it, but you leave out the underscore, and it makes that guy, if you're a channel member, isn't that worth the fee? Isn't that worth the membership fee? Thank you to the Shadow Cabal for making this all possible. We got some tabs open. We got some stuff written on a card. We can do this. We can do this. Special thanks to the Shadow Cabal. So say we all. But first, whoa, we have a co-pilot. We have a co-pilot on deck. Hey, Ops, good to see you. Good to see you. We have some savings throws coming your way right after you get ready. LARP! We have the ability to LARP and LARP hard. LARP! We have the ability to LARP and LARP hard. That was a McMo one, I think. I believe that was a McMo masterpiece. I think that was his stylistic impression, signature thereof. Okay. Hello. I see the assassins have failed. It's Monday, mind control you're saving against. You save against the mind control by choosing between survival, social, wisdom, or heart as your basis for the resistance to the mind control. I roll the die. If the die representing your choice is over 10, you've made your save and take half damage from the mind control and the rest of the show. If you don't, if the die is less than 10 and you haven't gotten your Hive Mind chat bonus of a +2, or your replay comment bonus of a +5, or a charity 7 indigo emoji die giveaway +7 to your saves from a member of the channel. If you haven't got that and the die is below 10, you failed your savings throw and take full damage from the mind control. By the sacred order of foolish transparency. I don't know. You normally don't even get a save. Survival, social, wisdom, or heart. Choose. Ooh, survivalist with disciples today. That's a 12 for you. Socialist coming in with a nat 20. That's a +3 to next stream saves. Way to go. Lovers of wisdom, you're going to need a bonus. That's only the chakras for you. That's a 7. Heart folks with a number 9. 9, just make a little heart emoji in the hive mind and you'll be good. Indigo kids, that's a pair of 8s worth of 16 for you. A 16 for you. Welcome, everybody. Welcome.
How this could be used to allow people to connect and get past the status game. So I'm just gonna play with this right now, which is weird. It could be your CEO. It could be your boss. It could be your CEO. It could be your boss. It could be your CEO. It could be your boss. It could be your CEO. It could be your boss. Right? So that would be cool, in my opinion. That would be very cool.
All right, then we're going. Hey, hello, McMo. We're going to start today's show with the biggest splash in this little corner since Waves of Obsession. With the South, he always his stupid channel always makes me think of that Slayer album, South of Heaven, but it's South of something, and he's got a brand new hit, and we're gonna look at a little bit at that today. But first, the casino deck card of the show is the Eight of Clubs. Yeah, we're back in the Clubs Club with this one. All right, let's bring it up. It's called Defense Against the Dark Arts, and it starts a little something like this.
Kale and I are chatting, and then we start getting on topic, and it's like, as it always starts, Kale and I are chatting, and then we start getting on topic, and it's like, dang it, we better start recording because we're chatting about personal stuff, and personal stuff sort of leads to.
All right, let me stop you right there. Boy, howdy, don't. Everybody should have a friend that's a proofreader. What the hell is a Calvanist? A Calvanist. Okay, but there's some really great parts of this thing. Here, let the first minute run. Fine.
The good stuff, which sort of brings us around to the ostensible topic of this, even though, of course, in Harry Potter, I only know the movies, but yeah, it was pretty obvious.
Oh, wait, what's that weird logo? It's that weird logo by that man's head. Well, that man is going to be at the Encountering Face-to-Face Estuary meeting this September in Olympia. Look, he's one of the guest speakers there. And maybe that's why that logo is in the corner. Okay.
Obvious to see that the visiting professor of defense against the dark arts, that wasn't exactly the character in the movie you wanted to be.
Right. Yeah, it meant that you had a one-film contract, really. I mean, let's be honest.
Your previous instruction in this subject has been disturbingly uneven.
This is me making a commentary and therefore fair use.
One thing is true. A great change of our psychological attitude is because we need more. We need more psychology. We need more understanding of human nature. Because we need more. We need more psychology. We need more understanding of human nature, because the only real danger that exists is man himself.
And whoosh, and whoosh.
And if you haven't gone over and subscribed to good old South of Sunrise's channel yet, here's a link you can do that with. Here's the must-see bit at 6 minutes and 33.
About the content.
There was a reason behind the dismissal of rote memorization as a formative tool. And there was a hermeneutic of suspicion operating there.
So this is an idea from Ricoeur, and the hermeneutics of suspicion is basically underneath it. There's always a secret agenda, a hidden motive.
This is what you're doing, and this is what you're really doing.
Yeah. That appearances are distracting, they're distorting, there's misleading. You can only realize something's an illusion in comparison to something else that you take to be real. The hermeneutics of beauty actually is primary, and the hermeneutics of suspicion is completely parasitic on it.
So we threw out the programmatic.
I'm sorry, but the hermeneutics of suspicion is Herman the dog. After you take him to the vet the time to get his nuts cut off, he's suspicious every other time you put him in the car. That's the hermeneutics of suspicion.
Repetition and formation by memorization of our youth and gave it all to Set.
I'm Grim Grizz from the internet. So Set fits into the story of Osiris, Set, Horus, and Isis. And it's theoretically an encapsulation of what the Egyptians learned about government. And at some point, Set overthrows Osiris because the Osiris has become old and willfully blind. On some level, it maps to people getting their communal programming from at least everybody goes to church to at least everybody's watching the same 3 networks. Right. So Set in our time became the television set, and pretty much every house has an altar to Set. And the fact that these forces are powers and principalities, and it's not just ATV or just a broadcasting company, it's the manifestation of something big.
Everything that
Imagine a world where boundaries blur between reality and fiction, with Mikhail Gorbachev leading the charge. Gorbachev didn't just challenge political norms, he dared to break the fourth wall in storytelling. "Tear down that fourth wall," he exclaimed, inviting us into a new era of engagement. His metaphorical call wasn't for Berlin alone. It was a clarion call to storytellers and audiences alike. Engage directly, break barriers, and foster a dialogue. Gorbachev's words echo in the halls of creativity. As storytellers, it's our turn to tear down that fourth wall, inspired by Gorbachev's daring challenge. Join us in this creative revolution. Tear down the walls that confine your stories. Share, like, and subscribe for more inspiration.
I love how he's got the 2 pens there in that one scene. He's like writing with both hands. Both hands. Blue Church card of the show is the Deuce of Spades. Deuce of Spades. Welcome, everybody. This is a page turner. A page turner. We're gonna get there. What about the thumbnail? Take the cups. Take the cups. Yeah, we'll get there too. But first, for the sake of the Blue Church card of the show, I'd like to point out there's this thing they're probably going to stick in your algorithm. They stuck it in mine. The God debate. We have 2 versions available, and also a reminder that Jordan Peterson took mushrooms and talked to Dawkins about it and saw DNA. But we can watch the unheard version or the Dissident Dialogues one. The Dissident Dialogues one says theological bullshit is their thumbnail title, and we're a discerning, classy audience, so we're gonna click on the more less clickbaity of the titles because of our hermeneutics of screw you guys. Okay. And
there can be no more fitting end to these incredible 2 days than to bring together these 2 people, both of whom I think many of us here admire greatly, and who have a real, very significant topic to discuss.
Looks like the chairs were sponsored by T-Mobile. The chairs seem to be sponsored by T-Mobile. What's at the 33rd minute?
Areas where I think it's a very, very important debate that occurred about 200 years ago.
We can have that debate, and that's an important debate, and that's the one I would like to have, rather than the one that's comforting. I mean, for example, I would like to know whether you think that we survive our bodily death when our brain dies. When I asked you that when we had dinner together, and you said no, have you changed your mind about that?
I'm sorry, please repeat. What have I changed my mind about?
About life after death.
about
Do
surviving.
we survive our bodily
I
existence?
said, do you think we survive our own death? And you said no.
I said yes, bodily. No, I do not. I don't survive death. I don't
No.
think you will survive death. I said that when Bertrand Russell said, "When we die, we shall rot." That
Yes.
That is true. But then, what happens to the soul?
What happens to it? What happens? Stay tuned. Stay tuned. See, I got like the visualization of a Jade Knight, at the Hershey Ali being a Jade Knight and him being like an old wizard that's being overthrown. Like just the mythological fall of the new atheists is playing out before our head. It was like when Peterson snatched that one interview right before the guy passed from the earth. You know, like that.
The list? Yes, any of the first level ones.
I'm gonna get a soda. Anyone want one? Hey, Graham, I'm not in the room, right?
What room? I want to cast Magic Missile.
The room where he's casting all these spells from.
He hasn't cast anything yet. I am, though, if you'd listen. I'm casting Magic Missile. Why are you casting Magic Missile? There's nothing to attack here. I'm attacking the darkness.
Yes, as Stephanie Christos says, the four horsemen have run their course, but don't worry. We have Russell Brand to bring us back to Christianity. Agency deck card of the show is the Four of Clubs. Four of Clubs pops out back in the Clubs Club. Speaking of which, don't forget to catch the premiere after today's episode of the Jordan Hall recording that wasn't accidentally deleted, like the one on Grail Country, who's hosting the beautiful face-to-face encountering of the Pacific Estuary Northwest. Unlike him, unlike Nate, Chad did not accidentally delete the recording with Jordan Hall, and that's premiering right after this, 40 minutes from now. 40 minutes from now. But before we get there, we have cards. Are we out of tabs? We're nearly out of tabs. Oh my. You know, Slack, we're down to 6 codes. 6 codes for the exclusive D&D game birthday bash party at Nate's house after the event. We only have 6 slots left. And, that's assuming somebody goes back and gets the token one from that one live stream. That one's out there. But we got at least 3 seats booked. And Baxter has a code to do with as he pleases. I think Lance is in it. We only got 6 left for the 12 slots. It's very, very interesting.
We all know that there is no agency any living gent can see. Doing what is right for me is lifting up my bro so he can grow some eyes to see that doing what is right for me increases all our agency.
All right, then it's time to get through the damn cards. The cards are on the dot matrix. The dot matrix book. You can see the little dots. You can see the little dots there. And then they start off with the general at the end of this book, and that's a reference to this Page Turner title we have. That's the title tie-in with Page Turner. Is I've had on my desk for about a week now. We have I have this. We don't know anymore. There's a plasticky frame thing, and sitting on it, I've had my favorite. Well, the sequel to my favorite book, Another Monster, at the end of this book. And as we a sample is this. All right, but we'll go see the monster, but just one little peek. When I say turn the page, you jump from the back of the book, and I'll jump in from the front. We will see the monster, and then we will run like little bunny rabbits. And that's been sitting here, and that resulted in somehow the going on the card, the general, at the end of this book, because this morning I successfully stepped a little less out of the other fella and the more into the general fella, by making the obligation to take kayfabe for a second walk. I'm trying to do 7 in the morning and 10 in the evening, 2 walks of the kayfabe a day, and doing so is more general like, and cannabis and StarCraft is less general like. So there's a transition as the general steps more into embodiment, and that's why that got. We don't know what the one at the end of the book looks like. We don't, much like the Beast in Split, which brings us to this. See, the thing about you were running this bit here, this bit here,
Notion of repetitions as a formative reality. It's almost like we wanted to have the feeling without the content.
There was a reason behind the dismissal of rote memorization as a formative tool. And there was a hermeneutic of suspicion operating there.
So this is an idea from Ricoeur, and
then he explains the hermeneutic of suspicion. But the rote memorization and the formation that got handed over to Set is the bit. And that's the reason Looper and Dr. Moreau and Postman and K-Pax and Split are on this card. Because you can take an assembly of the films that formed me, a watch history filmography of me, and understand a lot of where the embodied behaviors come from. And I'm thinking Looper. Looper is a fascinating time travel movie starring the Bruce Willis, which is unique in many ways. One of which is that it's about time travelers in a world where time travel is a normal thing, and it follows the career of a time traveler and how that ends, and how they turn against the system at the end, some very, very disturbing mental imagery happens that sticks with you for the rest of your life. And as I am facing today what is known as the extraction of a rotten stump, it reminds me very much of that scene from Looper. You see, what happens is you go through your whole life being the time traveler doing the bidding, and then at the end, when you decide to go AWOL, they go back in time and catch you. And so you're like running away to get to wherever the safe zone is. And they cut off your leg in the back in time, and then suddenly in the future, your leg is gone. That's similar to the extraction I faced this afternoon. Thank you for your donations. But that got me thinking about how formative those moments that stick in your mind forever like that are, and how many of them have come from films, and some have been my formative films. Hey, what's your formative films? Let us know in the replay comments for a +5 on the next stream. Saves.
I believe that if everyone sees what just a few people become when they wholly embrace their gifts, others will awaken.
Now, the other ones that are written on this card include Dr. Moreau and the Postman, which I will speak on now. Dr. Moreau, of course, is the mobilized Movialized, yes. They made a movie from the story. I think it was just a story, but it was a story that they made us read in English class, which means it was extra layer of deep programming. And it was about how some crazy scientists tried to make humans into animal hybrids on an island, on the island of Dr. Moreau. And since that, I ended up believing that we were probably genetically engineered from monkeys as a slave race, that really hits home. And I guess it stuck with me. And I blame Farousa Balk and Val Kilmer for that. But The Postman is another terribly formative movie, and it really speaks to what we're doing here. Because the postman started off as a LARP. He LARPed as a postman. He was some post-apocalyptic survivor guy who found a postman's truck, a mail truck, and he dressed up as the postman and took the letters to the village, and then all sorts of magic happened. It turned into an entire army, like a Kikikomori army of the 12 monkeys, but not because this was in a different film setting. And also involved is on this card is listed K-Pax and Split as both terribly formative movies. You see, the general himself is essentially a derivative from that K-Pax movie, and like to be like so shaped and formed by Kevin Spacey movies like The Usual Suspects, only to find out what kind of person Kevin Spacey really was, is really awkward. Not as awkward as his appearance on Tucker Carlson as the demon Frank Underwood, but weird, and also the leaning to the general at the end of the book. We don't know what's coming, as the is depicted in the film Split. The beast's actual qualities are unknown, even though we know he lurches toward Bethlehem. Remember.
This agency. We want.
And then also on this card is are these functionally like the biblical stories used to be? Like everybody on the planet used to be programmed with this reference base of like maybe the Iliad in some places, and then the biblical stories in other places. And now we're having this fractal differentiation of stories and myths and whatever we can adopt, because the planarium of the informational fractal differentiation of those stories into more specified and unique versions, and the weird grab bag of collections, but they're all archetypal stories that are like embodied in different narratives with different characters, two different subsets of species. But if we can tap into the archetypal sameness cross-reference network web, yes. And then the next card says, who are...
So say we all, yuck, 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 ho, ho, ho.
And on to the next card, which says, who are you? Who are you? Who are you? What are you doing? And what belief does doing that embody? You know how Papa Peterson says, like, it doesn't matter what you say you believe, what are you actually doing? And this came to me like when I was embodying a behavior yesterday, which includes partially an act of mourning and also, I don't know, war with the natives. But what are you doing? What is that belief? Like, if you're sitting there playing StarCraft instead of doing anything else, what beliefs are you embodying? Are you embodying beliefs about yourself, or are you embodying beliefs about the world around or your place in it? What activity? What are you actually doing right now? And what is that embodying? What are you not doing, and what does not doing that embody? And are those identity markers or emotional regulators? That's just a little self-reflection episode. As you know, I've been assigned some fringe homework, which is the 5-page piece by the German philosopher And like a good American, I found a workaround by going over to 11 Labs and making them read it. Here's a piece of that for you to enjoy. Share my homework with me.
What little boy knows who Hitler was? And even if I had known, how would it have been significant for me to have the same birthday as Hitler? Would I have been able to empathize with the horrors Hitler led and feel emotionally burdened by them on my special day? Can a little boy who hardly ever watched television understand what a concentration camp is? Can his innocent, media uncontaminated imagination even begin to understand the concept of a gas chamber? Does a child's mind produce any images based on this at all? I don't know. But in fact, everything turned out quite differently. And for the little boy I was at the time, it was worse than you can imagine. A few days before my 9th birthday, I fell off my bike. Nothing tragic happened, I didn't suffer a fracture or a concussion, and it was actually a completely normal accident for a child, due to my restlessness and carelessness. However, I fell on my face, and my upper lip split right up to my nose. As I said, it wasn't anything tragic, and it healed within a few weeks, but a scab formed that was clearly visible on my birthday and in the weeks that followed. So it happened that on the Monday after my birthday, because my 9th birthday fell on a Saturday, when I was sung a song and congratulated
It seems to
in the
me
first
that she
lesson,
gets quieter
Ruger
as
then
the
asked
clip
a small group of
progresses. And it's a sort of, but thanks for the AI slave bots for doing that for me. Turns out the little kid with Hitler's birthday got a scar on his lip right there, as if, and then a mustache, and then now he's Adolphi. And that's which text is that, you asked, Franco? That's from the homework the German philosopher gave me. And we do have one more thing on the card, and the tabs are related. So we are going to make it through this page turner, which is, we're just, remember, we don't know. And what was the thumbnail? Oh yeah, take the cups. That's the bit where the whole looper scene where you're going to, and you're like, man, God, just take all the cups. I don't want to do any of them. None of them. Just take all the cups. None of the cups for me, thanks. Can I sit this one out? That's the incentive behind takes the cups, and perhaps the bestial cover was based on the phrase animal handling. I gave the NightCafe slave bots this morning because handling the animals we are and the tendencies thereof, eating of the lions, as it were. Because I like the way I put that one in the suit. They put that lion in the suit. That's the animal handling tie-in. There's a thumbnail. Thumbnail, title, tabs, and cards. We're making it. We're making it through this.
Slime! It's a river of slime! You have meddled with the primal forces of nature, Mr. Beale, and I won't have it! Here they come! I'll never Please don't take my sunshine away.
Okay, and on the final card for the show, this kind of card, not this kind of card, we'll do a farm deck from the Shenandoah Valley to make up for it. All that's on this card is it says Nietzsche Squirt Boy Resurrection GameStop. So that's all that's between here and there. That's Nietzsche said the God is dead, and that's what we give him credit for. Turns out he was a squirt boy. Famous. I've seen it on Twitter. They've got the documents. Nietzsche, the Ubermensch, was a squirt boy. The 8 of Diamonds is the Shenandoah Valley deck card of the show. Hey, now besides that, he was the thing that I most regret not grabbing and holding his little Christ jacket and looking Papa Peterson straight in the face and saying, Nietzsche said God is dead. Then you got famous for saying, get ready for the funeral. Switch it to get ready for the resurrection. Because that's where we're going. And then the last thing on this card says GameStop. Because because this happened today. I saw this in my ex Twitter feed over here. This, why, look at this. The stock market is broken. Numerous multi-billion-dollar companies are down 99% in seconds, including Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway, to which I saw the most beautiful, beautiful joke from his masterful Elon Musk. Buffett just posted on this platform for the first time in 9 years to clear up this issue. Hodl. And it made me laugh. It made me chuckle. And it reminded me of the whole GameStop thing. And as you may or may not know, GameStop is a company with video games, but you can buy stocks in it. And there's this potential we have as citizens. I think it plays out in my head anyway, that if you medically put your money into the stopping of the game, that instead of having the global reset they want for us, we stop the game and we design our own global reset. We just, not yours, stop. We're doing this instead. But then to do that medically, you just buy stocks in this GameStop thing. Maybe that's why it was on the card anyway. So we do have the limited 6 tokens, 6 secret passwords left to give out. And I think we're going to give one exclusively to somebody who sends themselves in a picture of them. I don't even care if you Photoshop it, really, but we need a picture of a person in a Denim Wars Denny hat, and then you will earn a secret code to the VIP special just following the way encountering face-to-face Northwest. And I have it on great authority that even once you have the code, it's a miracle if you can decipher how to get a ticket. But that's part of what limits the seating. Okay, thank you, everybody. Like I said, I have an extraction to face, so this will probably be the last you see of me for a couple of days. But the grift link remains active, and I wish you well.